Hey everybody, it's Jay, and I'm back with my Mossberg 590M detachable magazine-fed pump-action shotgun. One thing that you may know about detachable magazine-fed shotguns is that they tend to deform the shells when left stored, when left loaded, over time. The reason that is from the spring pressure pushing up from the bottom against plastic shells. Now we have quite a good sample size now of Saigas and Veprs that are single-stack magazines that tend to deform rather quickly. I've heard as low as about 2 weeks to start to deform shells. So I haven't really heard anything much about the Mossberg 590M or the Remington MagFed for that matter, so I wanted to try the 590M to see if it would experience the same issues. I have a 10-round magazine here. This is the magazine that it came with that I loaded completely full. I believe this is 7.5. Birdshot, low brass. I figured that would be not quite a worst case scenario. Worst case would really be leaving it in a hot car, but it's the winter time, so can't really do that. In a climate controlled environment, just something that the average person might do if they have one of these and want to use it as a, as a go-to or defensive gun. So what I'm going to do is pull the magazine. I have not looked at it in 30 days. I'm going to take all of the shells out, inspect them. If they're severely deformed, we'll call the test over. If only moderately deformed, I'll try to cycle them in the shotgun and see if they still work. And if only slightly deformed, or not at all deformed, I'll load them back into the magazine, load the magazine back in the gun on a closed bolt. This is what I've been doing this whole time. And come back again in another 30 days and check them out again. So I apologize for the shaky cam here, but I have to get close and move this around, so that's why I'm recording it this way. We'll start with the first shell, the shell that was on top. These were unloaded in order. It actually still looks quite good. Most of them look quite good, realistically. Certainly still functional, but I have noticed a few things. First, the most severely squished one, and I did check all these before I loaded them to make sure that they didn't look squished, and they were all round, is the last one. This one was the one on the bottom. Looks to be like it's starting to oval a little bit. The other thing I've noticed on several of these, try to find a good example, is most, if not all of them, have that little crease right there in the shell casing. So I'm curious to see if in another 30 days, I'm going to go ahead and put this back in for another 30 days. I don't think these are deformed enough to worry about just yet. If they will continue to cycle. With the pump action, I'm not as concerned about it as I would be with a semi-auto, but we'll check and see. I would also be curious to see if having some high brass buckshot, some higher quality loads would change the rate of deformation. And if there's enough interest in this video, I might test that again in the future once this one's done. Obviously, with the 10 rounds have less pressure, less spring pressure than the 20 rounds do. They're easier to load than the 20 rounds. So I imagine it would be worse on a 20. And I might try that again. I'm going to go ahead and load all these back in, right back in the order that they came. I'm going to try to put this one right back, kind of flat-ish end down, just like it was in the magazine before, and see if it'll continue to squish. So my goal is either to get this to a point where I can definitively say if you leave this loaded for a reasonable length of time, you're not going to have any problems, or there's going to be a catastrophic failure in the ammunition, one of the two. So yeah, we'll see you again in another 30 days.